I hate Fortnite. Now that might seem like kind of a bold and hostile thing to say at the very beginning of a YouTube video, but it's true. I hate how unapologetically scummy it is. The company behind it is so bad that they've actively encouraged kids to steal their parents' credit cards to buy in-game money. Of course, whenever they've said these things, they always word it in a way that gives them plausible deniability, but it's still very obvious what they're trying to do. And even after all of that, there's still one more worse crime this game commits, and that's being soulless. It's just a shell of what greedy companies want video games to be. The whole thing's an excuse to endlessly sell you things that have no actual value. Fortnite, in my opinion, is the video game equivalent of a lobotomy. So you can see why I was very worried when Venom asked me if I knew about a game called Population 1, which is essentially Fortnite VR. I expected it to be a complete hellscape, but to my great surprise, once I started playing, I actually started having a great time.
This is like so off topic, but I'm just realizing that I think they took the models for the characters in this game directly out of Gary's mod.
I haven't played a lot of Battle Royale type games, and unless I'm forgetting something, I don't think I've ever played a VR Battle Royale game, which means Population 1 is my first, and I have to say, the formula works very well in VR. Even small things like how the round starts is entertaining. Where most games would have you skydiving to where you want to go, or just spawning in on the ground, Population 1 has you climb into a miniature rocket that throws you into the stratosphere, and then sends you plummeting to the earth in a flying squirrel suit. It's strangely epic, and yet I know the only reason it's so cool to me is because it's in VR.
Oh my gosh, I got him. I got him. No, hold up. I shouldn't have. That was really stupid what I just said there. Anyway, let me charge these up and get you.
When it comes to VR multiplayer games, I found that it takes me about 15 hours of playing to be at least not terrible at the game. So when I first started playing, I was 100% expecting to be absolutely slaughtered in my first few rounds. However, somehow, I managed to get my first kill on my second round.
Kill him. Dude, I just, like, got another person right in the head.
And not only that, but I also managed to win that round. Although I'm not sure how much of an achievement that is on my part, considering the fact that Venom did most of the work, and that most of the enemies were NPCs, because the only time we could play was 9 in the morning on a Friday.
Dude, this is actually kind of weird, though. I don't know why we're winning. Even if it's against robots, it just doesn't make sense.
One of the reasons I hate Fortnite so much is the ungodly amount of microtransactions in the game. And when I first loaded into Population 1, I was very worried that it was going to be the exact same thing. Especially after the first thing I saw in-game was 6 giant pop-ups telling me about items I should buy in the store. But after I started doing rounds, that was it. The game stopped trying to advertise. And I kinda respect that in a way. There was nothing on the main menu telling me that I have to buy the pink ghillie suit right now because the season's about to end, and once it does, you'll never be able to get it again. What I'm trying to say is that the game's just letting you do your own thing, and if you want to buy something, the option's there. Don't get me wrong, the person who decided to add microtransactions still deserves to be curb stomped, but at least they're more ethical about it than Fortnite. The bar is pretty low on that one, though.
I think it would be fun if it's just like a serial. It's from Santa's point of view, but it's just like a serial killer, just like hunting Santa down. That could be a fun idea for a movie.
I think part of the reason I like this game so much is just how casual it is. I'd say about half the time we were playing, me and Venom were having completely unrelated conversation. Again, I'm sure some of that had to do with the fact that most of the people we were playing against were in fact not people at all, and were instead NPCs, which are not that good at the game. And I'm sure if you were playing with random people, you'd probably run into a lot of racist kids and even more League of Legends players. But when you're playing with friends, it's pretty chill.
They were saying that they were going into anaphylactic shock, but they didn't. The symptoms that they stated were not symptoms of anaphylactic shock.
Originally, this video was going to be both much longer and much better edited. However, as I looked through the footage to begin editing the video, I realized that the Quest had pulled a prank on me, because it decided to not record any of the other players in the game, and that includes Venom. So all the funny moments and jokes are effectively unusable and are in the ether now. And while that's unfortunate, you work with what you have. So to anyone still watching, I sincerely hope that you have a great day, and I will see you next week.
Okay, I'm about to vanish because my headset's at 1%. Headset's at 1%. So I'm about to